Welcome to the Game Dad Game Awards of 2025. Merry Christmas, followers. It's Christmas Day, and I hope by this point you've all had a mouthful of Christmas cockerel. So, with around 20,000 games releasing every year, there's plenty to choose from when it comes to Game of the Year. However, here at Dad HQ, we have a few rules when it comes to picking our Game of the Year. First up, the game must have released this year. And second, I need to have played it all the way through to the credits. Now with that in mind, only 2 games actually met the criteria. Regardless, it was still difficult to choose between them, so I've kind of cheated. First, I've got a runner-up. Then there's the very much coveted Game Dad Game of the Year award. So, on to my honourable mention. Super Mario Galaxy. Now I know what you're thinking. Super Mario Galaxy released way back in 2007. It's over 18 years old. However, there's been an update released for the Switch 1 and 2 this year, with a fresh bit of spit and polish from Miyamoto himself. There's a fresh UI, resolutions updated, and no more waggling your controllers if you don't want to. At its core, Galaxy is exactly the same game. In fact, very little's changed. But why would it? Super Mario Galaxy still stands up to this day as one of the best games ever made. And if you don't agree, well, fight me. You know a game's good when you catch yourself lying to your wife and yourself about what time you went to bed. And next up is my actual Game of the Year. Dispatch. In all honesty, I wasn't expecting big things from Dispatch. I've played numerous Telltale games over the years, and where on paper they really should be my jam, most of the time they leave you feeling flat. You know, like your spare inflatable mattress that you pump up at Christmas. And they leave you just wanting so much more. Plus, with the conclusion of Marvel's Endgame, superhero stories have seriously fallen off. But Dispatch, it's different. The setting fits perfectly, the art beautifully drawn, and it has everything I love in spades. A perfect cast of interesting and lovable characters, phenomenally crafted stories that intertwine and are dripping with personality, and monster dongs, well, that you can censor if you're particularly squeamish. Saying that, some might criticise the humour, which honestly, it was written by millennials for millennials, but I'm here for it. And on occasion, it feels like your choices don't really matter much. It's also been mentioned that Dispatch's core minigame can feel repetitive. More repetitive than your son constantly saying 6, 7 as he learns to count. Pair that with a short runtime, although as dads sometimes that is a blessing rather than a curse, and you can understand why Dispatch isn't everyone's cup of tea, but it's really mine. Now with a few more quickfire positives. The celebrity cast is off the charts, story beats will have you crying with laughter or sobbing into your turkey, depending on the time of year I guess you're playing. And it has one of the most satisfying endings to any other game this year. For a relatively small team of about 30, producing something of this magnitude is tantamount to witchcraft. Also as a side note, I'm finishing up this video you're watching just before the Game Awards were announced on December the 11th, and Expedition 33 is expected to win big. But the fact that Dispatch is going up against some of these heavy hitters in the 2025 Annual Game Awards really tells you something. It tells you big budgets don't always equal big success.
Great success.
I'm looking at you, Black Ops 6. So to wrap up, Dispatch, it's a great game. And you probably know this already. Because let's face it, this probably isn't the first video made by someone centering around Dispatch this year. It's just the best one. Anyway, if you think 25 quid is a good deal for 8 to 9 hours of content, then stop watching and give Dispatch a go. Or you can wait for the next inevitable Steam sale. Promise, you won't regret it. However, if you think £25 is too wild of a price for this masterpiece, why not go and watch the millions of Let Plays around here who'll make the game choices for you. Just don't come complaining to me when they shagged the wrong girl in the end. And thanks Ad Hoc Studio, it truly was an unforgettable experience. So there we have it, my game of 2025, a tiny game with massive impact. My productivity and sleep routine is likely never to recover. What do you lot think? Was I right? Drop your own personal games of the year in the comments below. I want to know what you lot have been playing this year. Oh, and consider subscribing, but only if you want to be notified of my game of the year for 2026 in about 12 months' time. Merry Christmas, everyone.